It's time to balance those books and get crunching with those numbers as I introduce you to a career where numbers are the name of the game. Nangabe numbers and moolah is what you love best, then a career in auditing would most certainly suit you. So namhlanje we find out more about our auditors. Auditors perform internal financial and risk management audits and independent financial audits of various companies within the corporate or the private sectors. Auditors are independent specialists who review the accounts of companies and organizations to ensure that their records are valid and legal. An auditor will examine personal and company financial records to make sure that they are accurate, to detect any fraud, and identify opportunities for improving financial processes. Manjege, an auditor will often help an organization identify and correct financial problems within the institution. They will also make sure that the organization pays their taxes. Manjege, dealing with people's money really can be stressful and intense. So let's go and find out more about what it takes to be an auditor.
A successful auditor is a person who enjoys the field of mathematics. As an auditor, your job would be to produce statements that show the true financial state of any business and ensure that the correct procedures are being used. Mathematics, computer skills, and your languages are very important. As an auditor, you must be a hard worker, be able to work independently, have a strong analytical predisposition, and enjoys a challenge. Employment opportunities exist in accounting firms and government institutions.
An auditor is somebody who's like a policeman. You go into companies and then you go look at what they're doing. Because in a company, you'll have an accountant or a bookkeeper. So the bookkeeper will prepare the books, the trial balance. I hope you've heard about the word trial balance. Until now, you don't want to hear it anymore. And then the accountant prepares the TV, and then they prepare the financial statements. So we as auditors, we go there, look to say whatever they say they have on the trial balance, they actually have it. And we look at supporting document. If they say they bought a car, we look at the receipt to say, so you see like policemen, if you say you have a dog, where's the dog? If you say you have a computer, where's the receipt for the computer? Who authorized for the purchase? Where is it? And then we go say it. An internal auditor will come and look at the company and see, are they achieving what they said they're gonna do? If it's a government entity, they look at service delivery. If they say they're gonna build 10 houses, did they actually build the 10 houses? So it's more service delivery based. While an external auditor, we express an opinion on a financial statement to say, if you say your financial statements are a true reflection of what you do in a company, if you say you made 10 million profit, you actually have made the 10 million profit. So I know for you to be a CA, you need to, at this point in time, they're looking for C for maths and C for English, and I think it's C for accounting. So you need to have achieved those in your matric year. If you're coming in with a degree, you'll obviously be lower than somebody who's coming in with an honors. That's how it is. So if both of you are coming in with an honors degree, then you're starting on the same salary. So that's how the salaries get to be differentiated. And as you go first year, second year, third year, the salary increase with your qualification and the experience that you have, because you get assessed every 6 months to see, yes, you can start at the same time, but you're not gonna progress at the same level. Somebody will be much slower, somebody will be much quicker. So that's why each and every 6 months we get assessed to see how far you are with your progress. Are you meeting the targets that SAICA has set, that this is what you need to have achieved in 6 months, and based on that, then your salary gets negotiated based on those. As an auditor, you need to be always honest, and you need to maintain confidentiality, because as we move from client to the next client, I might bump into an information that I can tell to you that can be detrimental to the company that I'm auditing, because I may just mention to you that the CFO of the company is my friend. To you, it might come as like, okay, if the CFO is your friend, why are you auditing them? Aren't you afraid that the friendship might come into play? Or I can just tell you, oh, company B is gonna sell their shares because they just made loss. That I'm not supposed to tell you. There's a certain period that I need to withhold the information, and you actually have to sign. They have to swear to secrecy and privacy when you join the company to say, whatever you come across, keep it to yourself, not to be discussed outside the audit. You can find your work just overlaps into your social life, because you have your laptop, you have it at home, you take it home when you go home, and then you get there, you're thinking, I have 3 deadlines coming up, and then you end up saying, oh, I'm not going out with my friends now, I need to finish this. So it's a decision that you need to make to say, I'm not going to work at home if I don't have to. I only work if it's a deadline, if it's a matter of death and life.
An auditor has a huge responsibility to ensure that a company does not run out of moolah and make sure that there aren't any criminal activities like fraud within an organization. Masisbega izibalo, your average auditor can earn from between 90,000 rands and 500,000 rands per annum. Now, if we break those numbers down, monthly an auditor can earn anything between 7,500 rands and 42,000 rands. Kantige, there are other job opportunities that an auditor can go into. An auditor can further their studies and become an accountant. An auditor can also deal with legal matters within merchant law. An auditor can also look at going into management and planning. Manjege, if auditing is a career that you might want to go into, let's take a look at what a normal day in an auditor's life would look like.
Have a seat. I'll take you through my normal working day. So since the client has trusted us with the confidential information, they give us their audit file. We call them audit files. It has the balance sheet record because you cannot reconcile income statement accounts. But then the balance sheet ones, you know, your creditors, your debtors, whatever you call them, they need to reconcile them at the end of the year. So since they've given us this, all the information with the files and stuff, we cannot disclose it to anybody else who was not on the audit. Our job is to look at it, make sure it's there, and make sure it balances. And then when we leave the client at the end of the week or the end of 2 weeks, then we have documented it in our file. So our file looks something like this. So this is the PwC software that we need to document it. So we take everything from the file that the client gives us, document it in here, so that when we go back 3 months later, if the client says my bank balance was 10 million, we say no. We looked at your bank statement from the file. We saw it, that this was the balance. It was not that. So it's just to cover ourselves so that when we issue the financial statements with the figures, we can back those figures up, because the partner has to sign the opinion to say, we agree whatever the figures they're showing you in the financial statements, they are correct. We looked at it, we have a file. If they want it, we put this whole file on a CD, and then we give it to them to say, this is what we looked at, this is what was it at your year end, and we're happy with that. And then, as you know, your balance sheet has to balance. So from the trial balance, you take the balance sheet accounts, make sure your assets equals your liability plus equity. You know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what we do on a daily basis. Nothing hectic, sounds fancy.
So does it ever happen that you're unable to find the amount?
Yeah, it's possible, because if we sit with a set of financials that the client has prepared, because they're going to prepare it as a draft for us, because they need it for the company. You can sit there and look at the amount. They show you that's the amount they have. But then you try to look at the trial balance, it's not there. You go through the file to see maybe it's one of the recons that they have, but it's not there. Then you go back to a client and ask them, where did you find this figure? Because I'm trying, I can't find it. So they need to explain it to you. Because sometimes you add, as you know, your creditors, you're going to add your accruals and your trade and sundry sometimes. So you just, anything that you don't understand, don't waste time. You go back to a client. I don't understand how you get to this figure. How did you get to the figure? And then they'll explain it to you. And that's how we manage to keep to our deadlines, because we have strict deadlines. And that's how, as you go along, you get to understand why you cannot divulge the client's information to the third party, because it can damage the reputation of your employer and the company that you're auditing. So you might end up being out of job.
Have you ever been asked by a company shareholder to actually investigate their company to find out why the company has been liquidated?
Well, they go to the forensic department. PwC has a forensic department that deals with those cases. Those are the real police. When the company gets liquidated and we get approached by shareholders, they tell us the reason why they suspect that something went wrong, and then the forensic guy will go in there, look at the records, request everything, because most of them in the forensic, they have a bit knowledge of law and how to get things done. So that's the department that specifically deals with it. If we pick something up that's not looking okay from our normal audit, then we take it up to forensic to say, this is what we're finding. Please check if something is going beyond what we can see from an audit point of view, because we can pick things up from an audit, but then the investigation and everything else, then we take it up to forensic.
As with most careers, a very particular education is necessary for qualification. Let's take a look at some of the subjects and courses that are key to being an auditor. The core subjects that are recommended that you would need to take at high school in order to become an auditor are maths, accounting, business studies, and now with the growth of e-technology, it's recommended that computer studies be taken as a possible subject, as you will be using computers to do your audits. Manje, with the growth of this profession, there are many tertiary institutions which offer courses for auditing. These are the University of Johannesburg, Wits University, UCT, University of Pretoria, University of Durban, and the UKZN. A minimum of a bachelor's degree is required for auditor positions, preferably in finance, accounting, or a related field. To be a successful auditor, you need to have good communication skills, as you are dealing with people on a regular basis. It is crucial that you are tactful, as you will need to show sensitivity when dealing with a difficult issue. Now, you need to be flexible, as you would be moving from different companies at different times. Integrity and being observant as an auditor is also highly important, as you are handling an organization's financial records. Manjege, an auditor spends most of their time working in offices, though they will have to travel now and then if required for external audits and consultations. Jobs in this sector can require very long hours, especially when a deadline is near. Clients do not always provide the material that the auditors need as quickly as they might like, so this can leave them with a lot of information to sort through in a very short period of time. Now, because not all clients want to be audited, this can be a very stressful occupation at times. Our auditors will also need to present bad news at times, which can be difficult to deliver. Kodwa-ke, if you have a passion for numbers and are happy to work with a diverse range of organizations, then this career is definitely for you.